I want to start with something, questions called, what is called a marketing qualified lead, right? Now, in marketing, all of us, we'll be running ads, we'll be doing socials or whatever it is. The idea we put in all this effort, writing content and all stuff, is to attract prospective prospects, basically not prospective customers, prospects to basically look our way and also to engage with us, and to the point that eventually they're ready to buy something that we have to offer, all right? So, but the thing is, when you have leads, you may have like 10, 20, maybe certain people get about 1,000 leads. Which one is important? Which one should you follow up first, right? All of us have 24 hours a day, unless you have a team of hundreds. There is also a time resource on your employees as well. Okay, so the concept of marketing qualified lead is basically this, right? Which is basic a lead that has shown interest in your brand, and by engaging with your marketing content, all right? And the fact that if they, for example, if you send 10 emails to 100 people, and 10% of the 100 people, open and click on your email, you want to focus your energy and time to actually talk to this 10%. The rest of the 90 of them, they occasionally may open, and those are the ones that you probably put, nurture them a bit more longer to the point that they are ready to talk to you. Okay, so similar like this, I go online every Wednesday. Eventually, the hope is, when you think about email, you probably think about me, all right? And you will only do that if I constantly give you value and basically help you to move along your journey, even if it's free. Okay, so that's what marketing qualified leads is, and the method of doing that is basically called lead scoring, right? So in CRMs, you probably heard of it. High-end CRMs, you have lead scoring, which is, have they received their own emails? Do they open their emails? Do they call you, for example? Do they sign up for webinars? So all these little signals are compiled to indicate that this person is fully engaged with your content, fully engaged with what you have to say, for example. And these are the people what you call a marketing qualified lead. But in email, how do you do that? Right? In a channel called email, how do you actually do that? So this is why I want to share with you the method, a lead scoring method to build a simple system. Right? It's a very manual system, also called. It's not sophisticated, but the outcome is sophisticated. Okay, I will show you how. So what we do, or what I'm going to do, is we're going to assign a score for every single interaction of the subscriber, or even your prospects that they take with your email. So for example, if you send, let's say, 10 emails, you want to know, did they click on your emails? Do they open your emails? Do they click on the link, for example? How many links did they click, right? And what sort of resources that they click most, okay? So lead scoring is a variation of segmentation, because you are assigning a number. As your segmentation is, if somebody is interested in a certain YouTube channel related to a certain topic, okay, you put them in a different segment. And certain people say, I like dogs, I don't like cats. So you put them in different segments, for example, So that's the other form. But lead scoring is basically assigning a number which you determine for your own consumption and for your own reference, okay? So in other words, you're assigning a score for every single click action, okay? So that's as straightforward as it is, nothing, like I say, it's nothing sophisticated. It is the concept behind it, that is pretty interesting, okay? So now, what do you need to set this up, right? If you want to do email, and it says, okay, I like the idea of lead scoring, what do I need to do, okay? So first of all, you will need to have at least an email nurturing sequence, all right? A fancy way of saying, you got to have a couple of emails in order for you to trigger and to understand whether they are interested or they're interacting with your content. I mean, if you want to send an email, just one email, and expect to lead score, there's nothing to lead score, it's just one email. Do they open, did they open, or did they click or didn't click? As straightforward as that. But you want to take them through that journey, okay, of consuming your content. So first, you need to have your an email or series of emails. Second thing is you got to have content, okay? And the content can come in various forms, right? So these contents are very strategically designed or created to take them from a position of not aware of you, not aware of your products or your services, to the point of they are aware of it. It's a matter of pricing, it's a matter of timing, it's a matter of do they actually need it now, all right? Not maybe 5 years or 6 years down the road, but do they need it now, right? So you got to take them from the journey from here, not aware, to most aware. And these are the content, and you use this to a combination of content. So you have a series of emails. The second thing is you got to know what sort of content that you move them from point A to point B. And then the content itself can come in various forms. It could be a video, all right? It could be some video tutorials. It could be some promo videos, for example. It could be some how-to videos, for example. You can actually sign them up, let's say, for webinar, right? So you have, for example, like this. Today, I didn't send an email to my list to tell them about it. So if I did, I would just basically say out of my list, how many person actually click to come in to attend the live event, right? You could also, if you're B2B, obviously you will download some documents, some reports, some statistics, some important industrial information, for example, that you may be interested in, all right? And then you can send them to, if you write blogs or articles, that's one way of sending it. Or for example, if somebody a news media interviewed you, and you want to direct them to that, because it adds credibility. Newspapers, despite being so-called replaced by the digital content and all those things, they still have this sense of authority. You feel different being interviewed by an online medium and interviewed by, let's say, Straits Times or whatever it is, New York Times or whatever it is different. Okay, so reading blog articles, you can send them to a web page, right? It could be a landing page, could be a trial sign-up page, for example. But more importantly, all this, you notice the similarity is each one of them has a specific URL link, right? And because that's what we're going to do, we are going to track the click action tied to that particular URL link, okay? So let's do a quick demo. I'm going to show you. I'm going to set up this, how it works, and what are the things you need to do. Okay, let's see. I don't need this. I'm going to move. Just give me a minute. I'm going to start with this. Okay, I'll move this first. All right, so I'm going to share a new screen. There you go. And wait, before that, anybody else is commenting? If you have any comments, do put in the comment section. I will be able to see it here on my StreamYard, and then I can respond. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in. All right. Okay. So where was I? Okay. This is what we're going to do. Now let's say, for example, I want to take a prospect, somebody who joined up, sign up for my list or get a lead magnet and all those things. So obviously, I want to nurture them to a series of emails. I want to take them through. For example, to go through 5 of these, so-called YouTube videos. It could be a video for you. It could be documents. It could be whatever. So just basically, use your imagination. It could be a video here, a document here, a blog article here, and all those things. So 5 content, right? 5 content types. And I'm going to say each 5 of them. And I want to track and see, for example, do they click all 5 or do they click 2? And then to a certain extent, I can also take it to the next level, which are so-called content that they click, and what is that content about, and why is it that they're interested in this, okay? So now the baseline is I've got my YouTube channel, and I'm going to say the demo is I'm going to basically take them through this, right? So each one of these, you notice, has a specific URL address, right? Each video, each blog, each article, everything has a specific URL address. We want to track that. So you have this, you copy each one of them into a notepad or whatever it is. And then the next thing you want to do is, okay, let me share another screen. This one. There you go. All right. Let me pull this one up. Okay. Okay. You should be able to see the screen. Now, this is where I create an automation sequence, right? So an automation sequence is basically so-called like a machine. I've created all these emails, and all I need to do is just add users into this group, for example, and automatically, based on the setup that I do, I'll be able to then send, or MailerLite, or for example, any of your ESPs will have this, will be able to automatically send this content or based on whatever time you want to send them out, when you want to send them out. Okay. So now remember, we have 5 pieces of content, and we want them to the prospects to actually view these 5. So now I've created an automation where there's the first email, obviously tied to the first content, second email, second content, and third email, third content, so on and so forth. Right. Now here is where you do a delay. Right. Now obviously I put in 5 minutes because I was testing it. So if you're in real life production, it could be 1 day. Normally it's 1 day. That means today you sign up, you receive an email from the prospect receive an email from you. Then the next day, same time, they will receive another email, right? So you can do either 1 day gap or 2 days gap, or even 3 days. Now, I would not recommend that you basically go extend beyond 3 days, because users may forget your emails. Remember, they got about 80 to 100 emails a day, and unless you are somebody super important or super famous, very likely that you and I will be easily forgotten, right? So between 1 to 3 days, the gap, okay? So, hi Bob. Yes, well, the reason why I use StreamYard is because I signed up for the annual plan, and that was before Jason told me about the Melon app. Now, apparently, I think StreamYard is still cool. I mean, it's still stable. Melon app still has some issues here and there as far as Jason has informed me. So, yeah. So, StreamYard is. Okay, so once you have created these emails already, and I will show you basically how it looks like, okay? So let's look at one of the emails. Okay, I've got to turn this off first. Okay, this is it. So the sequence, you've got a workflow name, whatever, when they join, what happens to them. Okay, so let's look at the email. So obviously emails, you have to write your own content, all right? So mine is basically, I just want to test the link and to make sure the tracking is done. So in this case, I would have basically the content, and here is the key important ingredient. You would have, remember your YouTube or so-called your content pieces, you would then put in here the URL, and you can name it whatever it is because we want to track this link. Okay, we want to track this link. And okay, let's do this. Oh, I got to show you something else. Let's stop this screen for a while. Let me set this up for you. Just a minute. I'm looking at multiple screens. In case you're looking, why am I looking left and right? Okay, here you go. All right. So let's share the screen again. Okay. All right. So once you have set it up, all 5 of them, so you set the automation, this automatically runs, so it's evergreen. And then the next things you do is, remember, you have 5 pieces of content, 5 URL links. You have put them into an automation sequence or email series of 5 emails, right, with the link. Now you want to set another automation. In this case, it will be, this is where you implement the lead scoring, okay? So let me show you this, how it works. So I use automation or workflow in Mailer. I call it workflow. Certain active campaigns, I think they call it automation. But generally, there is a campaign or email blast, and the other one is automation. All right. So generally, these are the different naming conventions that they use. Let me see, why is it not moving? Do I have to edit this out? Okay, I'm going to bother you with doing this. Let me fix this. Okay, there you go. Share screen again. So the next thing, once you have set up your email automation, that means your email content, what you want to do is you create another automation, and this time, the difference is you are then tracking a specific link. You notice? So this is one of the links, URL links for that particular YouTube content or content pieces. And what we do is, or what I do is, I would then set up, and the action, or basically the next step is, I can create a field. So in MailerLite, you create a field I call it lead scoring field. And then it has a feature that allows me to either set value, if I want to set a certain number of values, for example. Let's say you have 5 pieces of content, and signing up a webinar is considered a top priority. That means a very hot, so-called a very hot prospect, right? Who will only sign up for the webinar. The rest are free content, that's fine. But in this one, you need them to show up, right? So to you, you want to assign priority for this. So you may decide to say, I'm going to set a value of 5. Or maybe watch YouTube video is, well, nothing special about it, very little commitment required. Maybe you set a value of 1. So you can actually set values. But in this case, for this particular example, I'm basically looking at increasing value. So every time a click is done, the ESP will then increase the value of 1. So I'm going to set up as simple as 1. So if they sign up, or so-called if they viewed a click on all your 5 emails, obviously the value is 5. Right? So if they click on 3, the value is 3. So this is what I will set up for each 5 of them. So you will notice here, I will have the automation where I do a list scoring, I call it list scoring test. But basically, I have 5 automations for 5 unique subscribers. So that's why I say it's manual, because you have to basically create each one of them, right? So this is that. So the moment it's done, now what's the net effect? You then, send the emails out. And then you wait, maybe a day or so or 2, for example, and this is the net effect. So I've created, let's say, 5 so-called subscribers, and I've sent different emails, and each one of them, you notice, is YT5, YT4, YT3, and all those things, right? So each one of them either click 1, some don't click 2, and all those things. Now, at any one time now, if you want to tell your sales guys and say, I've got these leads, I've sent 5 emails to them over a period of 5 days, and now I want you to follow up with X people. Who are these X people? You go back to your MailerLite, right? And you say that, hey, this Andrew YT5 has actually lead scoring of 4. So he's considered a very hot prospect, right? Or at very least, on the surface, he seems to be a very hot prospect because he's been engaging and clicking, not just opening your email, but actually clicking your emails, right? So you want to give this guy first priority in terms of calling, right? Or maybe send certain content, right? So that's one way of looking at a glance. You already know that which one, for example, like these 2, right? They only click once. All right. Maybe you just continue to send the nurturing sequence and continue to track to the point that you do, more than 5 or something like that. Okay. Or alternatively, you want to create another automation, or you want to send a different emails. So what you do is you can then segment. All right. So you can create, for example, now I decided to, let's say, I'm going to send an offer, all right? Or I want to send a very specific content to people who are heavily engaged. Then I'm going to create, let's say, a lead score segmentation, all right? So now, when I do a lead score segmentation, I will then say the fields. So remember, you have created a field called lead scoring. I will set the fields, which is greater than, let's say, maybe 3, all right? So who are these more than 3? Okay, this guy. Okay, so if I did more than 2, oh, this is one guy. Okay, if it's more than 1, obviously it's going to be more, isn't it? Right? So let's say now I want to say more than 3, or maybe more than 3. Greater, I can set up as greater than or equal to. Okay, let's do that. About 3. Yeah, that's one, right? So now I can use MailerLite within your ESP to then create a very specific email to this out of the 5 people, only 1 will receive this email, and it's targeted based on their interaction. Now that's how, when people say, hey, you got to personalize your email. Personalize your email, having hi Andrew, the bracket, mail merge kind of thing, is very basic. It's easy to do. That's one level of personalization. But when you do content like this, this is what you call a next level personalization, where your content is very specific to a person's action, triggered by their click action. Okay, so you can do this. You can also set another automation. For example, if you want to go back to this simple automation here, let's look at this one. So, for example, let's say this is related to an ebook, all right, a technical ebook. So somebody clicks on this, I will then assign a lead. I can then add from here another set of automation, maybe send a different set of emails. Okay, and related specifically to the ebook. I may say the kind of emails I would write is, have you read this ebook? Hey, by the way, chapter 5 talks about this particular thing. Here's the link for you to jump to that chapter, which is very important for you. So that emails or this series of emails is tied to that content itself. So you can actually branch into many areas, but all this content is tied to the action. So that's how you would call, or I would call it, a very deep level of personalization that you can offer. All right. So far, so good. Interesting. What else do we have? I think that's about it. So, not that's about it. That's basically as far as the presentation is concerned. Let's see what else can I share with you. Okay. So now, lead scoring is tied to marketing qualified leads. But more importantly, lead scoring allows you now to assign a certain numbers or certain value based on the interaction. So you can assign a static value of 1. You can assign a different set of values of different type of contents, right? Which is important to your business, right? So somebody, for example, I've got product A and product B. And product A has a very high margin, whereas product B has a lower set of margins. So if somebody clicks a lot of product A, for example, I want to spend more time and effort to talk to this group, right? So this is how you basically, then you assign a lead score of a higher lead score compared to a product B, which has lower margins. So this is basically your business decision that you make, okay?
Hi, and thanks for watching. If you need my help to set up your email marketing engine for your business, just click on the link here and you see a list of services that will help you grow your leads and sales and also increase your profits through emails. I'm looking forward to working with you soon.